Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incredible India podcast series. I'm Sam.
And I'm Taylor.
And today we're ready to unpack some uh, really incredible discoveries.
Yeah, it's always great to dive into something that, really makes you think differently, especially when it challenges our basic assumptions.
Totally. So today we're doing a deep dive into some pretty mind-bending history. Our mission basically is to pull back the curtain on some amazing sources. This time is a really comprehensive article from 5 Census Tours.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to extract the most jaw-dropping insights about ancient Indian civilizations. We're looking at 5 categories of artifacts that genuinely challenge everything we thought we knew.
Right.
So get ready, because some of this evidence might just rewrite the history books.
Yeah.
Force us to rethink what was even possible thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered if ancient people were, way more capable than we give them credit for?
Yeah.
Because after today, you just might.
And what's so fascinating, I think, is how these discoveries don't just add to history. They fundamentally challenge our whole understanding of technological progress.
Exactly.
We're looking at archaeological evidence, scientific analysis, stuff that makes you really question the when and the how of human innovation. It pushes timelines back in ways that, honestly, a lot of people find hard to swallow.
Okay, so our first big area here takes us right to the foundations.
Yeah.
Metallurgy. What if I told you ancient Indians weren't just, banging out tools, but actually engineering materials with a sophistication that still kind of baffles modern scientists?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Let's start with the big one, maybe the most famous example,
Oh.
the Delhi Iron Pillar.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is legendary, right?
Yeah.
Part of this whole ancient metallurgical mastery idea.
Oh, absolutely. It's standing there in Delhi's Quatmi complex. I mean, this pillar is a genuine puzzle. It's, 1,600 years old, over 7 meters tall, weighs more than 6 tons. And here's the crazy part. Centuries of monsoons and almost no rust. Virtually none.
It's incredible. And modern attempts to recreate it.
Well, let's just say they haven't exactly succeeded. They've failed quite spectacularly sometimes.
So the source material digs into why. Apparently, its unique composition is the key. It's got this precise mix of elements,
Right.
including a surprisingly high amount of phosphorus, like nearly 1%, and at the same time, incredibly low sulfur and manganese.
Which is tricky to achieve even now.
Exactly. And this specific blend creates a protective oxide layer on the surface that actually regenerates itself. It's essentially self-healing against corrosion.
Yeah, that passive film is the genius part.
But how did they get that exact chemical balance, without modern labs and analysis tools? That's the real mystery.
It is. And recent analysis, using modern techniques, shows these microscopic slag particles mixed really evenly throughout the metal.
Okay.
And that pattern suggests they were using these really advanced smelting techniques, stuff that, Western metallurgy didn't really figure out until the 19th century.
So it's not just an old, rusty, or rather, not rusty, piece of iron.
No, it's like a testament to ancient materials science. They seem to have consciously engineered this self-healing metal. It shows this deep, methodical understanding of alloying centuries, maybe millennia, before we thought possible.
And it wasn't just a one-off thing, was
Yeah.
it? The source points to advanced smelting techniques all over the place.
That's correct. You look at archaeological sites in places like Rajasthan, Karnataka, they're finding evidence of really sophisticated smelting going back maybe 4,000 years.
Oh.
They found furnace designs, for example, that could reach temperatures over 1,500 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to make high-carbon steel way before we thought anyone was doing it.
So the key takeaway is...
The key takeaway is that these weren't just, lucky accidents. It shows a systematic, really deep understanding of material science that just doesn't fit the conventional timelines.
Right. I mean, even wood steel comes from this region, doesn't it? That's super strong steel for Damascus blades.
Yep, that's the one. Europeans spent centuries trying to figure out how it was made and just couldn't crack it.
So what was the secret? The source mentions some innovations.
Yeah, it details things like controlled atmosphere furnaces, crucial for the carbon content, multi-stage heating processes, using specialized flex materials from local minerals, even advanced quenching techniques like using specific water temperatures or additives.
It sounds incredibly precise,
Yeah.
serious lost knowledge being uncovered now through modern chemical composition analysis.
Precisely. Modern spectroscopy, looking at these ancient artifacts, it just reveals metallurgical know-how that seems, almost impossible for the time.
Hmm.
You see this consistent use of trace elements clearly added to enhance specific properties that requires a deep understanding.
Like the Delhi Pillar's phosphorus.
Exactly. Done in 400 CE, not seen again in Europe till the 1800s. Or the Konark nails from around 1250 CE, their corrosion resistance is comparable to 20th century stuff.
Okay, but the thing that really got me was the evidence from places like Ujjain, dating back to 500 BCE. They weren't just smelting iron. They were making brass with really specific optimal zinc percentages. And they were using distillation processes to do it, techniques we usually date much, much later. How does that fit?
Well, it doesn't fit the old narrative, does it? It points to systematic experimentation, knowledge being passed down, maybe even refined over generations.
Right.
Chemical fingerprinting even shows regional differences in techniques. Suggests there were multiple centers of advanced metallurgy all working at the same time across India.
So ancient India wasn't just making strong metal.
No, they were pioneering material engineering.
Yeah.
Systematically, almost like modern material science, just thousands of years ago. It really forces a rewrite of the timeline of innovation.
Remarkable. Okay, so if the metals were that advanced, wait till we get into how they built things. Moving from tiny alloys to massive structures that seem to defy gravity, and maybe our understanding of engineering.
Oh yeah, the architecture is just as mind-boggling.
Let's shift gears to architectural engineering. The course talks about stuff that seems way beyond conventional ancient capabilities.
The scale and the precision, it's just astounding.
Okay, first point. Precise stone cutting without modern tools. The article mentions the Vathala temple in Hampi. Granite blocks fitted so perfectly, like you literally can't slip a piece of paper between them.
Insane tolerance.
Right. Or the Kailasa temple at Ellora, you know this one, carved entirely from a single chunk of rock.
The whole temple.
The whole thing.
Mm.
They had to remove over 400,000 tons of stone. And get this, they carved it top down.
Top down. How do you even plan that?
I have no idea. And this is granite we're talking about, super hard rock. And the tools they supposedly had, bronze, maybe some early iron, how did they get that kind of precision, that kind of scale?
It's a huge question. And these buildings weren't just pretty faces either. They had complex joint systems that survive earthquakes.
Ah, like the Braheswara temple in Thanjavur.
Exactly. Over 1,000 years old, huge granite structure, and it's ridden out countless earthquakes. Why? Because of this incredible joint system.
How'd it work?
Each stone block connects to several others through these precisely carved grooves and projections. It creates this flexible network that can absorb and distribute the seismic energy.
That sounds completely modern, like anti-seismic engineering.
It really does. And the Shore Temple at Mahabalipuram, even older, 1,300 years old, it has expansion joints built in for thermal changes.
Yes.
Yeah, and advanced drainage systems, too. Concepts that, we didn't really formalize in engineering until the 20th century.
So connecting the dots.
Yeah.
This suggests a really sophisticated grasp of structural dynamics, material science, way earlier than we thought.
Definitely. And it gets even deeper. The source talks about mathematical calculations embedded in sacred structures.
Okay, like sacred geometry.
Yeah, but really advanced stuff. Golden ratio proportions, complex geometry, even intricate astronomical calculations woven right into the temple designs.
For example.
Well, the Konark Sun Temple uses the golden ratio in its layout and uses trigonometry to place the shrines. And those famous 24 wheels, they actually function as precise sundials.
Wow. And it's not just India itself, right? The source mentioned Angkor Wat.
Right, built by the Khar, but heavily influenced by Indian thought. It mirrors the Hindu cosmos with mathematical precision. The distances between towers relate to cosmic cycles. The proportions encode astronomical data. It's basically a giant stone computer for calendrical and cosmic information.
Okay, my mind is slightly blown. But how did they even lift this stuff? The source mentions the Thanjavur temple again, an 80-ton capstone.
Yeah, the Vamana capstone.
Yeah.
Sitting on top of a 66-meter tower? How they got it up there? Nobody knows for sure. There are theories involving massive ramps, but the logistics are staggering.
And the design itself makes the whole thing more stable under all that weight.
Which brings us to these weight distribution methods that baffle engineers. It's not just lifting, it's how the load is managed.
Like that hanging pillar.
Exactly, at Lapakshi Temple. There's a pillar that looks like it's holding up the roof, but it doesn't quite touch the ground. You can pass something thin underneath it.
How is that even possible?
It shows this incredible understanding of load transfer, how the weight is distributed to other parts of the structure. It just challenges all our assumptions about their engineering skills.
So it raises that question again.
Right. How did they have such an intricate grasp of physics, of structural engineering, without the theoretical frameworks, the math, the computers we rely on today?
Truly astonishing. Okay, let's look up. From the ground to the sky. Because ancient Indians weren't just building incredible structures, they were mapping the cosmos. Without telescopes. This whole section on astronomical knowledge encoded in physical artifacts is fascinating.
And the precision they achieved is just remarkable.
Okay, so let's unpack the star maps and temple positioning. The Konark Sun Temple, again, functioning as a massive sundial.
Yeah, tracking the sun's movement.
But it's more than that, right? The Brihadeeshwara Temple complex in Thanjavur, the source, says it actually mirrors the constellation Ursa Major.
That's what the analysis suggests. Individual shrines seem to be positioned deliberately to match the stars in the Big Dipper.
That can't be coincidence.
Highly unlikely. It suggests these were conceived as, like, cosmic blueprints in stone. And that requires mathematical calculations, astronomical observations, stuff supposedly not well developed back then. How did they manage that accuracy?
And it wasn't just star maps. They had celestial calendar systems carved in stone.
The Surya Temple at Mathura, for example. It has these incredibly intricate carvings that track lunar cycles, the solar year, even planetary positions with amazing accuracy.
So these weren't just decorations.
No, they were functional astronomical computers.
Yeah.
Really challenges our ideas about sophisticated timekeeping in the ancient world. And look at Hampi's Virupaksha temple calendar system.
What about it?
It includes corrections for things like leap years, seasonal adjustments, okay, standard enough, but also for the precession of the equinoxes, that slow wobble of Earth's axis.
That's advanced.
And lunar month variations, planetary retrograde motion, even eclipse prediction cycles. They understood and integrated all this long before similar calculations pop up in Europe.
It's like they had an astronomical supercomputer built into the temple. And they weren't just tracking, they were making planetary motion predictions.
Yes. Think about the Jantar-Mantar complexes. Much later, built by Maharaja Jai Singh, sure, but based on older principles. These massive stone instruments could calculate planetary positions centuries in advance.
Like the Samurai Yantra in Delhi. Accurate to within seconds.
Exactly. And here's the kicker, like you said before. Researchers are finding similar instrument designs, or traces of them, in much older temple ruins, predating the known development by maybe thousands of years.
The math behind it.
The math had to be incredibly complex, understanding elliptical orbits, not just perfect circles, knowing the Saros cycle for predicting eclipses, calculating the effects of Earth's axial tilt. They seem to have understood and applied all this centuries, maybe millennia, before European science caught up. It just flips the conventional history on its head.
Okay, from the vastness of space down to the intricacies of the human body, let's talk about medical instruments ahead of time. This section was genuinely startling.
It absolutely pushes the boundaries. What we think was possible for ancient medicine, this goes way beyond.
The thing that really jumped out at me was the evidence of surgical tools matching modern precision standards.
That's right, the Sushruta Samhita.
Yeah, that text from the 6th century BCE. It describes over 120 different surgical instruments. And it's not just theory. Archaeologists are finding them.
Actual tools.
Actual tools. Forceps, scalpels, needles, even specialized tools for cataract extraction. And they're made from high-grade steel alloys.
So corrosion resistant.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Corrosion resistant, holding sharp edges, with signs of precise grinding and polishing. They look disturbingly like modern surgical tools.
It's a testament to both their metalworking skills and their medical knowledge. And it wasn't just surgery. They had sophisticated pharmaceutical preparation equipment, too.
Like what?
Finds include things like distillation gear, specialized grinding devices, extraction equipment. It looks a lot like the basic principles of modern pharmaceutical manufacturing.
They found mortars and pestles made from specific types of stone, seemingly chosen to prevent contamination, steam distillation units, probably for essential oils, even calibrated measuring devices for getting dosages exactly right.
But it wasn't just folk remedies.
No, if you connect this to the bigger picture, it points towards a really systematic, almost scientific approach to medicine, aiming for accuracy, consistency. It really does rival modern standards in some ways.
And their diagnostic devices.
Yeah.
The source mentions some with unexplained accuracy.
Yeah, this part is intriguing. Descriptions and some possible finds suggest things like pulse reading devices, specialized listening tools, maybe like primitive stethoscopes,
Made from.
crafted from specific materials, maybe wood or metal, chosen for their acoustic properties. Apparently, they could detect things like heartbeat irregularities or breathing issues with a precision that Western medicine didn't really match until the 19th century.
That's hard to believe.
It is. They even mention potential temperature measuring devices calibrated for tiny changes in body heat. How they achieve that accuracy is, well, it's unexplained.
And this deep knowledge seems to extend to anatomical models showing advanced understanding.
Yes, they have found models made from metal, stone, sometimes organic stuff depicting organ systems, blood circulation, even neural pathways.
Wait, blood circulation.
Some cardiovascular models seem to show heart chambers, valves, major blood vessels accurately. This predates William Harvey's work in the 17th century by a long shot.
That's huge.
And neurological models showing basic brain structure, nerve pathways, even skeletal models with movable joints, probably for teaching.
So it raises that same fundamental question.
Exactly. How did they get such detailed empirical knowledge of human anatomy? Without the dissection practices, the imaging, the stuff we consider essential today, it's a major puzzle.
Okay, every category just seems to pile on more questions. Let's wrap up with this final, maybe most mysterious category. Unexplained technologies that challenge archaeological dating. Stuff that goes beyond metallurgy or astronomy into, well, other realms. Energy, acoustics, timekeeping.
Yeah, these are the artifacts and structures that really make you wonder about potentially lost science. They challenge our basic definition of what ancient technology could even be.
Okay, first up, energy conduction properties in religious objects. What does that even mean?
Well, the source describes studies on bronze statues, particularly from Tamil Nadu temples. They apparently show unusual electrical conductivity patterns, not what you'd expect from typical ancient bronze.
Like conducting electricity differently?
In specific patterns, yeah. Nataraja sculptures at Chidambaram Temple are mentioned conducting electricity along lines that seem to match ancient descriptions of energy flow in the body or cosmos.
That sounds esoteric.
It does. And there are mentions of stone lingams in certain temples that reportedly vibrate at specific frequencies that are also mentioned in ancient texts. It's way outside our normal understanding of ancient tech.
Okay. Moving to something maybe slightly more graspable.
Yep.
Acoustic engineering in sacred chambers.
Right. And what's fascinating here is how deliberate it seems. It's applied physics, wave mechanics built into the architecture, stuff we're still trying to fully figure out.
Examples?
The Meenakshi Temple in Madurai. It apparently has chambers where a whisper can carry clearly across a huge distance, but loud sounds don't echo uncontrollably.
Focused sound.
Exactly. Or the ruins at Hampi, certain spots where if you clap, the echo comes back as distinct musical notes. The structure itself is amplifying specific frequencies.
Wow. And musical pillars.
Ah, yes, the musical pillars in South Indian temples. Vitala Temple again, those 56 pillars. Each one carved with such mathematical precision that tapping them produces different notes of a musical scale, a complete scale.
Centuries before European acoustic science really developed.
Centuries before, it's incredible precision engineering for sound.
Astonishing.
Yeah.
Okay, what about optical principles applied to ancient mirrors?
This is another weird one. Konark Sun Temple is mentioned again, having polished metal surfaces that could focus sunlight almost like lasers. Maybe used to redirect beams to light up specific parts of the temple during solstices or equinoxes.
Okay, focusing light.
But also bronze mirrors found at Harappan sites much older that seem designed to magnify images or create multiple reflections. And some mirrors, according to the analysis, could even filter light wavelengths.
Filter light. How?
That's the question. Reflecting specific colors while absorbing others, apparently without using dyes or pigments, that requires understanding light waves, properties not really understood in Europe until, like, the 17th century.
Okay, that's strange. And then there's magnetic properties in ceremonial items.
Yeah, this one's also quite puzzling. Iron statues found in some medieval temples seem to have permanent magnetization patterns, not just randomly magnetic, but specific patterns.
Why would they do that?
Unknown. The Jagannath Temple in Puri is mentioned. Its iron structures apparently interfere with compasses nearby. And stone carvings in Buddhist monasteries up in Ladakh.
What about them?
They supposedly have tiny iron particles arranged within the stone to create weak, localized magnetic fields, enough to cause slight movements in small metal objects brought near them, described in old texts as divine animation. So it raises the question, how did they control and embed magnetic properties with such precision? without any formal understanding of electromagnetism as we know it.
It just keeps getting weirder. And finally, we circle back to time, but maybe even more advanced, timekeeping mechanisms of unknown origin.
Right. Beyond the Genparmantar, which, as we said, tracks celestial movements with near-atomic clock accuracy.
And accounted for Earth's wobble and orbital variations, stuff only officially nailed down in the 20th century.
Right. Beyond that, there's evidence of other sophisticated timekeepers, water clocks found in Kerala temples that had mechanisms to self-adjust the flow rate based on temperature changes, keeping them accurate.
Clever.
And mechanical calendars found in Rajasthani forts. These could track multiple calendar systems simultaneously, predict eclipses. They have bronze gears showing signs of centuries of operation.
Like ancient computers.
Pretty much. And various stone circles found across India that seem to function as complex celestial computers. This wasn't guesswork. It was methodical, highly sophisticated science applied to timekeeping.
So let's try and pull this all together. What does it all mean for us listening to this?
Well,
We've covered 5 huge categories: metallurgy, architecture, astronomy, medicine, and these, well, unexplained technologies. It feels like overwhelming evidence that ancient civilizations, especially in India, had knowledge and skills we've just consistently underestimated.
massively underestimated, I'd say.
It feels like we really need to challenge our assumptions, give
Mm.
these ancient people the credit they deserve. The past seems way more complex, far more advanced than our standard textbooks often let on.
Absolutely.
These discoveries, they really demand we reconsider what we thought we knew about human ingenuity, about how technology develops over time.
And it raises that really important question, doesn't it? If these capabilities existed so long ago, what else might have been lost? What knowledge haven't we rediscovered yet? It really encourages us, I think, to approach history with more curiosity, more critical thinking, not just relying on preconceived ideas about linear progress.
Yeah.
Imagine what we could learn if we stopped thinking of ancient history as just primitive and started seeing it as this rich, complex tapestry of advanced, sometimes mysterious innovation.
That is a truly provocative thought to leave everyone with.
Wow.
Well, thank you for joining us on this pretty mind-expanding deep dive.
My pleasure. Always fascinating stuff.
And if you, listening, decide you want to see some of these incredible sites for yourself, maybe travel to India and really immerse yourself in the culture, we do have a recommendation. 5 Senses Tours organizes tours across India, which are really immersive cultural experiences.
They do great work.
You can email them at contact@fivesensestours.com. That's the numeral 5 in 5sensestours.com. So contact@fivesensestours.com, or you can reach them on WhatsApp at +91 984 56 77446. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the mysteries that make our world so incredible. Until next time.